Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Energy First Golf. So today in this video, as you can see the title, it says front, rear, or all-wheel drive. So what does that mean? And the truth is, there's a lot of professional golfers out there, and really nobody's swings looks like the same. But like I said, even though they don't swing differently, they swing differently, but they all have the same mechanics. But the reason why they all swing differently is because everybody release differently. Also, obviously, you're also dealing with a different body type. So today we're going to talk about what does that mean when we say front, rear, or all-wheel drive. As you all follow the channel, we actually talked about how important the left arm is. So in other words, right now, if I swing just purely with my left arm, this would be considered front wheel drive, okay? And I'm releasing with the front side. Or if I'm swinging like this, and I'm just releasing from the rear side, the back side, okay? So now, if I swing like this, assuming if I have 50% of the same sort of a movement, that would be considered all-wheel drive. But remember, depending on the body type, each player, for example, Jordan Spieth, he's probably one of those guys who has 100% rear wheel drive release. So we all know he's got this chicken wing, but he releases really well with the right arm. Well, so we can call it the backside, or we can call it rear wheel drive, right? So in other words, depending on each player's body type and the way how they feel, the release energy, it means the muscular pressure. Some people may have, for like say Jordan Spieth may have 100 0, or some people may have 20-80 or 80-20 or 30-70 or 30-70. As you can see, it can become very complicated by trying to explain to you what each player do, but you can see there's a certain tendencies and pattern. How do they play? That's the reason why it's very confusing for most amateurs when you watch a professional player, is because they all tend to do things a little bit different, but with the same fundamental principles. But it's just because, again, everybody's got different body type, and you will have a different feeling of release. And the truth is, most people, again, the arm muscles, you can say that sometimes you feel like there's a power going through the arms or using the arms for power, but the correct way to explain that would be understanding how much is the arm's rotational speed and which side is leading. Okay, it's really interchangeable because remember, your backside and the front side, you can control it and manipulate. So say, for example, right now, if I want to hit a cut, obviously I can control it from the back side. You can see I have a mirror here, so that way you can see I go inward, controlling with my right arm, or I can have a little bit more front wheel, thinking about throw the club out this way more. And you can see there's a very difference in the movement. So in other words, yes, it is actually a thing when you're talking about release, because there's difference between the front percentage and the rear percentage. It means front and back. So that's the reason why when you look at professional players, they all look like they do different things. But the truth is, again, different body type, different muscular pressure, and the way how they want to shape the shots. Again, based on the percentage, there's a difference in the rotational speed, and there's also a difference in the what? The exit path, right? So that's something to think about. Again, if you follow our channel, we actually really are adamant about learning for beginners, for amateurs, learn how to use your front side, which is your left side. Obviously, for the lefty, would be the right side. So if you follow the channel, we talked about all those things, release, but today I want to be a little bit more specific, just looking at things from a different angle, talking about release. Again, I can do this movement with my Lee side, right? Lee side, right? Also, I can do it with my trail side or rear wheel drive, right? I go here, right? Or I can say that depending on the shots I want to hit or I want to swing, just depending on how do I control the spin and where the path is going, and I can have the idea of all wheel, right? All wheel, or say if I want to change, I want to get a little bit more front side, so I focus on a little bit my left side or left arm to create a little bit more outward motion. Or I can say that I can control my right arm, right, and get a little bit more inside, so it will look more like this. There you go. As you can see, all those has a different ball fly, right? Now, if you follow the channel, we talked about rip, block, and cut. Those are the definitions of how do we define the release pattern. But when we're talking about percentage and when we're talking about front, rear, and all wheel, we're definitely dealing with how each player, you or tour player, how do they feel, which arm is more dominating, which arm is less control, or which arm has more control. And again, the game of golf is really like art. You know, the more you can control your body, the more you can control your body rotational speed, the better player you'll become. So that's the reason why today we're looking at release from a different angle. But it is a thing though. Remember, if you look at cars, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, and also depending on the situation, if it's mud, snow, terrain, you know, like companies like Audi, they will put different percentage of power distribution depending on the situation when they have all-wheel drive. So why we're talking about this is because we're dealing with what? We're dealing with energy, the distribution of energy, and how do you control the body and produce a result. So this is why it's so important to understand the release from this perspective, the front, the rear, and the all-wheel drive principle. And again, this is how you will control the shot and play golf. And obviously, once you know the percentage, you can start to control high ball, low ball, or obviously you can play around with the ball position. So I just want to throw this out there, something for you guys to think about. But this is actually important. It is a very, very sort of deeper understanding what release is. All right, so if you guys have any questions, leave a comment. And don't forget to click like and subscribe to our channel over here. And we also have 2 recommended videos for you to watch. And I'll see you next time.